Blessings and divine favor are not merely things we desire, they are a reflection of the alignment between our lives and higher principles. Many people seek the favor of God, but few understand that favor is not random. It's not a gift that falls on some and bypasses others without reason. There are identifiable traits and behaviors that can attract this divine favor. Humility is the cornerstone of attracting divine favor. It is the foundation upon which all other traits are built, and without it, even the most admirable qualities can lose their power. But what exactly is humility? In its essence, humility is an accurate understanding of who you are in relation to your Creator and the world around you. It is the recognition that no matter how gifted, talented, or successful you may become, there is a higher power guiding your path. Humility is not about thinking less of yourself, but about thinking of yourself less, shifting the focus from personal achievement to a greater purpose. When we speak of humility attracting divine favor, it's important to understand why this trait is so significant. Humility is a posture of the heart, a condition where we acknowledge that we are dependent on something greater than ourselves. This isn't just about a sense of religious duty, it's about a deep awareness that all we possess, our health, our opportunities, our success, are not self-generated but given by divine grace. A humble person is fully aware of their dependence on God and as a result remains teachable, open, and responsive to divine guidance. One of the reasons humility attracts favor is because it positions you to receive. When you operate in humility, you are acknowledging that you are not the source of your own success. This creates a space where divine blessings can flow into your life. Imagine trying to fill a cup that is already full. It's impossible. In the same way, when we are full of pride, believing we can handle everything on our own, there's no room for divine favor to enter. But when we empty ourselves of ego, when we recognize our limitations and open ourselves to the need for help from above, we create room for God to step in and work in our lives. Humility also aligns with divine favor because it reflects the very nature of God. Throughout Scripture, we see that God is drawn to the humble. There's a consistent theme that God opposes the proud but gives grace to the humble. This means that humility isn't just a moral trait, it's a spiritual law that governs the flow of blessings. Pride, on the other hand, leads to downfall. It blinds us to our weaknesses, to our need for improvement, and ultimately to our dependence on God. The proud heart says, I can do it on my own, while the humble heart says, I need you. Lord, it's in that recognition, that place of vulnerability, that divine favor is poured out. Humility fosters a sense of gratitude, which is closely linked to favor. When you are humble, you are more likely to recognize the blessings in your life, no matter how small they may seem. You see, a proud person often overlooks the little things, taking them for granted. They expect success, they demand recognition, and when it comes, they attribute it to their own abilities. But a humble person is grateful for every opportunity, every breakthrough, no matter how modest. They see each blessing as a gift, not a right. And this attitude of gratitude multiplies blessings because when you are grateful for what you have, you become a candidate for more. Gratitude, born out of humility, opens the door for increased favor because it shows that you are aware of and thankful for the source of your blessings. Humility also brings a willingness to serve others. Those who are humble understand that life is not about what you can get, but about what you can give. This trait of service is crucial in attracting divine favor because favor is never meant for the benefit of just one person. It's meant to flow through you to impact others. The humble recognize that any blessing they receive is a tool for lifting up those around them, not just for their own personal gain. By serving others, by being a conduit of blessings, they align themselves with the very nature of divine favor. It's essential to realize that humility is not just a passive attitude, it requires action. Being humble means actively surrendering your will, your plans, and your ego on a daily basis. It's about consistently seeking wisdom and direction from God, knowing that on your own you will always fall short of your true potential. This posture of submission does not make you weak, rather, it positions you for strength beyond your natural ability. Humility is the open door to receiving divine instruction because a humble heart listens, while a proud heart is closed off to correction. In life, you will encounter situations where you are tempted to rely solely on your own abilities, where pride may whisper that you've achieved your success without help. But it's in those moments that humility becomes even more critical. The higher you go, the more you need humility, because the higher you climb without it, the harder the fall when things go wrong. Humility sustains favor because it keeps you grounded, always remembering the source of your strength. Humility is not only the first step toward attracting divine favor, it is the continuous state that keeps favor flowing into your life. It is a condition of the heart that acknowledges the need for divine intervention and keeps you open to receiving the guidance, wisdom, and blessings that come from above. Those who are humble are positioned to receive the fullness of favor, not because they are worthy on their own, but because they recognize their dependence on a higher power. Obedience is one of the most critical traits that attract divine favor. It goes beyond simply following rules. It is a deep alignment with divine principles and instructions that govern the universe. Obedience is about willingly and faithfully submitting to the higher purpose for which you were created. In many ways, obedience is an act of trust. It's saying, I may not fully understand, but I believe that following this path is leading me towards something greater. To fully grasp the importance of obedience in attracting divine favor, we must first understand the nature of the relationship between God and humanity. This relationship is not transactional but covenantal. In a covenant, both parties have roles and responsibilities. God has promised to guide, protect, and bless us, but we also have a role to play. Obedience is at the heart of that role. It is how we respond to divine guidance and, in doing so, remain in alignment with the blessings that flow from that covenant. Obedience is not just a matter of doing what is right when it's convenient. True obedience requires acting on divine instructions, even when it's difficult, even when it doesn't make sense, and even when it requires personal sacrifice. This kind of obedience is what attracts divine favor, because it shows that you trust in a plan greater than your own understanding. In this way, obedience becomes a demonstration of faith. When you are obedient, you are saying, I believe that following this path, though challenging, will lead to a greater good. An important aspect of obedience is that it involves not only our actions but also our attitudes. Obedience with resentment or grudging compliance does not attract favor. What draws favor is obedience from a heart that is fully committed to aligning with divine will. This means that even when we don't understand why we are being asked to do something, we choose to obey because we trust that the one who is asking knows far more than we do. When obedience is rooted in trust, it becomes an act of surrender to a higher purpose, allowing divine favor to flow into our lives. There are countless examples throughout history and scripture of individuals who, through their obedience, attracted extraordinary favor. Think of figures like Abraham, who obeyed the call to leave his home and journey into the unknown. He didn't have all the answers, but his obedience to divine instruction brought him into a covenant of blessings that extended not only to him, but to generations after him. His obedience became the foundation for divine favor that impacted the entire world. We see that obedience often precedes major blessings or breakthroughs. The willingness to follow instructions, even in the face of uncertainty, signals readiness to receive favor. Obedience demonstrates that you are not just seeking favor for personal gain, but are willing to live according to divine purpose. It's about being willing to act, even when you don't see the whole picture, because you trust in the guidance being offered. Another key element of obedience is discipline. It's easy to obey when things are going well, but divine favor often comes to those who can remain obedient even during challenging times. Discipline in obedience means staying consistent, maintaining your commitment to follow divine principles, even when it seems difficult or when you are tempted to take shortcuts. Shortcuts may seem like an easier way out, but they often lead to trouble. Obedience, though it may be the harder path in the short term, positions you for long-term favor and blessings that are far greater than any immediate gain a shortcut could provide. Obedience shapes your character. As you continuously choose to obey divine instructions, you cultivate virtues like patience, faith, and perseverance. These traits are essential for sustaining the favor you receive. It's one thing to attract divine favor, but it's another to sustain it over time. Obedience helps you grow into the kind of person who can carry the weight of favor without becoming prideful or losing sight of your higher purpose. In this sense, obedience is a refining process, molding you into the best version of yourself, the version that can fully receive and handle divine favor. It's also crucial to remember that obedience is not about perfection. It's about progress. No one is perfect, and there will be times when we fall short. However, divine favor is not withdrawn because of our mistakes. It's our heart's posture that matters most. When we stumble, the question is, do we return to the path of obedience? Do we learn from our mistakes and recommit ourselves to following divine principles? Those who consistently return to a place of obedience even after failure are the ones who continue to attract divine favor. Obedience is not just about individual blessings, it has a ripple effect. When you live in alignment with divine principles and obey, you create an environment of favor that impacts those around you. Your obedience opens doors not just for you, but for others. Whether it's your family, your community, or those you serve, your willingness to follow divine guidance extends favor to those who are connected to you. In this way, obedience becomes a channel through which divine blessings flow into the lives of others, multiplying the impact of your faithfulness. Obedience is a powerful trait that aligns us with divine favor. It is not merely about following rules, but about living in harmony with a higher purpose, trusting in the wisdom of divine guidance, and acting with a heart full of faith. Obedience requires discipline, consistency, and humility, but it is through this alignment that we attract blessings that extend far beyond what we could achieve on our own. When we obey, we open ourselves to a life of purpose, fulfillment, and divine favor that impacts not only us, but everyone we touch. Faith is the substance of divine favor. It is the inner conviction that despite what may be happening around you, a higher power is working for your good. Faith is not just belief, it's a deep, unshakable trust in what you cannot see, feel, or sometimes even understand. It is the foundation upon which all manifestations of divine favor rest. Without faith, it is impossible to please God or to walk in the fullness of the blessings that are available to you. Faith works hand in hand with divine favor because it positions you to expect good things, even when circumstances suggest otherwise. Faith is not blind optimism or wishful thinking. It is rooted in the assurance that the promises of God are true, and they will come to pass in your life. This kind of faith attracts divine favor because it reflects the belief that you are living in alignment with a higher purpose. It shows that you trust in a plan greater than your own and are willing to move forward, even when the outcome is uncertain. One of the most powerful aspects of faith is that it creates a mindset of expectation. Those who walk in faith are always expecting favor to manifest in their lives. They are not surprised when good things happen, they anticipate them. This is because faith is rooted in the belief that God desires to bless His people and His favor is readily available to those who believe. When you live in this state of expectancy, you naturally attract favor because your mind and spirit are attuned to receiving it. Faith also plays a crucial role in how we respond to challenges. Life is full of obstacles, and there will always be situations that seem impossible to overcome. However, when you have faith, you see challenges differently. Instead of being overwhelmed by the problem, you trust that divine favor is working behind the scenes, opening doors and creating opportunities where there seems to be none. Faith shifts your focus from the size of the obstacle to the size of the God who can overcome any obstacle. This shift in perspective is vital for attracting favor because it shows that you trust in something greater than yourself. In many ways, faith is a declaration of partnership with the divine. When you walk in faith, you are saying, I am not in this alone. I am working in partnership with a higher power, and together we will see this through. This declaration opens the door for divine favor to manifest because it acknowledges that you are not the sole architect of your success. You recognize that, while you may do your part, it is ultimately the favor of God that makes the difference. This humility and reliance on divine assistance make room for extraordinary things to happen in your life. Faith is also a catalyst for action. True faith is not passive, it compels you to act, even when the full picture is not clear. Think of the biblical stories where individuals stepped out in faith, not knowing exactly how things would turn out, but trusting that favor would meet them along the way. For instance, Noah built an ark long before any sign of rain appeared. Abraham left his home for an unknown land simply because he had faith that divine favor would guide him. These acts of faith not only attracted favor, but also set in motion blessings that would affect generations to come. This brings us to another important aspect of faith that is contagious. When you live a life of faith, those around you are influenced by your confidence and trust in divine favor. Your faith can inspire others to believe for greater things in their own lives. It creates an atmosphere of possibility and hope where people begin to expect the miraculous. Divine favor is not meant to be hoarded. It is designed to overflow and impact the lives of those around you. And faith is the vehicle through which that overflow happens. Faith also attracts favor by shaping your speech and thoughts. When you have faith, you speak differently. Instead of complaining or focusing on the negative, you declare what you believe will happen. Your words are powerful, and they have the ability to shape your reality. People who walk in faith understand that their words can either attract favor or repel it. They speak life, hope, and blessings into their circumstances, creating an environment where divine favor can thrive. Similarly, faith shapes your thoughts. Instead of dwelling on fear, doubt, or uncertainty, your mind is filled with thoughts of possibility, hope, and expectation. This mental shift is crucial because it positions you to recognize and receive favor when it shows up. Another important element of faith is patience. Faith does not always produce immediate results, but it gives you the strength to wait with confidence, knowing that favor is on the way. Patience is a key aspect of faith because it demonstrates that you trust in the timing of divine favor. Too often, people lose faith because they don't see immediate outcomes, but those who understand the power of faith know that favor sometimes takes time to manifest. It's in the waiting that your faith is tested and strengthened. And it's in the waiting that favor often shows up in ways you never expected. Faith and divine favor are interconnected because faith activates the promises of God. The promises are available to everyone, but only those who have faith will see them come to pass. Faith is the key that unlocks the door to divine favor. It is the bridge that connects the promise to the manifestation. Without faith, the promises remain theoretical, but with faith, they become reality. This is why faith is so critical in attracting divine favor. It is the activating force that brings the unseen into the seen, the impossible into the possible. Faith is not just a belief system, it is a way of life that attracts divine favor. It positions you to expect good things, compels you to act even in uncertainty, and keeps you patient as you wait for the manifestation of blessings. Faith creates an atmosphere of possibility where divine favor can flourish, and it shapes your thoughts, speech, and actions in alignment with the blessings that are already yours. When you walk in faith, you are not just hoping for favor, you're expecting it, and it will surely come. Humility is one of the most profound and essential traits that attract divine favor. While society often celebrates pride and self-promotion, humility stands in contrast as the quiet strength that draws blessings from a higher power. It's the understanding that no matter how talented, accomplished, or powerful we may become, we are still in need of divine grace. Humility isn't about thinking less of yourself, it's about recognizing that your abilities and opportunities are gifts that come from a source far greater than you. Humility is the foundation upon which true greatness is built. When a person is humble, they recognize their need for guidance, correction, and improvement. They are not driven by ego or the need to be acknowledged by others, but are focused on doing what is right, even when no one is watching. This kind of humility attracts divine favor because it signals that you are willing to be led, shaped, and transformed by a higher power. Humility allows you to be teachable, open to correction, and ready to learn from every experience, whether good or bad. One of the most powerful aspects of humility is that it keeps you grounded. When people experience success, there is always the temptation to take all the credit for themselves. They begin to believe that their achievements are solely the result of their own hard work, intelligence, or skill. However, a humble person understands that success is not only the product of personal effort, but also the result of divine favor. Humility keeps you mindful that everything you have and everything you are is because of grace. This recognition of dependency on a higher power positions you for even greater blessings because it shows that you are not taking your favor for granted. Divine favor thrives in an atmosphere of humility because it is in humility that the heart is most receptive to blessings. A person filled with pride is often closed off to the guidance and wisdom that could lead to even greater favor. They are too busy believing they already have all the answers. In contrast, a humble person is always in a posture of readiness to receive. They are not defensive or resistant to change. Instead, they are open to growth and willing to do what is necessary to move forward. This openness creates an environment where divine favor can flow freely. Humility also fosters gratitude, which is closely linked to attracting favor. When you are humble, you naturally become more aware of the blessings in your life, big or small. You don't take things for granted because you recognize that everything you have is a gift. This attitude of gratitude opens the door to even more favor. When you express genuine thankfulness for what you've received, you position yourself to receive even more. Divine favor is not attracted to entitlement, but to appreciation. The more you are grateful, the more you create space for blessings to multiply in your life. Another significant aspect of humility is that it allows you to serve others without seeking recognition or reward. Humility understands serving others is not about being seen or celebrated, it's about fulfilling a higher purpose. When you serve with a humble heart, without the need for acknowledgement, you align yourself with divine favor because you are participating in the flow of grace. You are becoming a channel through which blessings can pass not only to you but to those around you. Divine favor flows to those who are willing to share their blessings with others, and humility is what enables you to do so without expecting anything in return. Humility protects you from the destructive forces of pride. Pride has a way of blinding people to their weaknesses, making them believe they are invincible or beyond correction. Pride shuts the door to divine favor because it puts you in opposition to the very source of your blessings. Humility, on the other hand, keeps you in a position of reliance on divine guidance. It keeps you aware of your limitations and creates a space for continuous growth and improvement. A humble heart acknowledges that while you may have come far, there is still much to learn and many areas in which you can improve. This attitude keeps you on the path to receiving more favor because it ensures that you remain moldable, adaptable, and open to divine intervention. Another key aspect of humility is that it strengthens relationships. People are naturally drawn to those who are humble because humility fosters trust, respect, and compassion. Humility allows you to listen to others, value their perspectives, and build genuine connections. When you are humble, you don't feel the need to dominate conversations or prove that you are the smartest person in the room. Instead, you are focused on building others up and encouraging them to reach their full potential. This not only attracts favor in your personal relationships, but also in your professional and spiritual life. Favor often comes through the people you interact with, and humility ensures that you cultivate relationships that are full of respect and mutual support. Humility also brings a sense of peace. When you are humble, you are not constantly striving for validation or approval from others. You are content with who you are and where you are, trusting that divine favor is guiding your steps. This inner peace attracts favor because it demonstrates that you are not consumed with anxiety or fear about the future. You trust that in due time, everything will fall into place as it should. This calm confidence, rooted in humility, allows you to move through life with grace, knowing that divine favor is at work in your life. Humility is a powerful trait that attracts divine favor because it keeps you in a posture of openness, gratitude, and service. It protects you from the pitfalls of pride and keeps you grounded in the reality that all blessings come from a higher power. Humility allows you to recognize and appreciate the favor you've already received while positioning you to receive even more. It fosters strong, genuine relationships and brings peace to your soul. When you walk in humility, you are not only walking in alignment with divine principles, but you are also positioning yourself to receive favor that will elevate every aspect of your life. Attracting divine favor is not a mystery, nor is it reserved for a select few. It begins with aligning your life with the traits that naturally draw blessings from a higher power. Living a life of integrity sets the foundation, allowing you to walk with a clear conscience and earn the trust of others. Faith, as the engine of expectation, opens the door for divine favor to manifest in your life, empowering you to act and speak in alignment with your higher calling. Humility keeps you grounded, acknowledging that all good things come from beyond your own efforts, positioning you to receive even more by keeping you teachable, grateful, and open to growth. When these traits, integrity, faith, and humility, are practiced consistently, you create a fertile ground where divine favor can flourish. You not only open yourself to the blessings meant for you, but you also become a vessel through which divine favor can flow to others, enriching your life and the lives around you.